Welcome to the Literally First Class podcast, where I will teach you how to overcome anxiety and achieve somatic success. I'm your host, Keri Ford. I'm a somatic success and holistic life coach here to bring humor, insight, and wisdom to the modern day woman that wants to feel alive in her daily life. You ready? Come on, I saved you a seat in first class. Real with you, I am so tired of social media. I hate this ADD type of way that we've been doing social media. Now, I know the tides are turning. I know that people are craving more depth, long form content. Thank God, because that is my jam. I love writing. I love expression. I love being creative. And it feels like everyone currently has the attention span of an ant. And I'm sick of it. And it's stressing people out. I have talked to several people in the past few weeks that tell me they can't seem to slow down their racing thoughts. They feel like they're behind. The amount of offers and invitations and online things is overwhelming to them, that they just haven't had a minute to slow down. And yet they're, consuming all of this social media. And we have to be really mindful of what we are consuming because it's constant stimulation. Not even like the type of content, but I mean the volume of content. The amount of content, if you just sit and you scroll through TikTok or Reels on Facebook, and even Instagram will pull you off onto threads. I mean, it's just constant. It's one feeds into the other, feeds into the other. People aren't getting a break. And it's even been wearing on me. And this is as a mental health professional, somebody that does this work and is mindful, I still will get caught in the trap of just the scrolling, doom scrolling. And so when I noticed that, a little bit of my functional freeze is coming online here. My freeze response often is just sort of tuned out, but I'm acting as if I'm resting or rejuvenating, and I'm not. So it actually drains me despite not moving. And I think that's where we get confused with postured rest versus actual rejuvenated rest, right? Postured rest looks restful because we're not moving. We're sitting there. Maybe it looks like we're sitting watching a movie. Looks like we're relaxing on our phone, but we're scrolling. But in the meantime, our brain is it's just so much stimulation. Think about the amount of time, the amount of reels and content that you're consuming, and everybody has a different platform and everybody has a different opinion. And then, God, if you go into the comments, now you even have a meta AI interpreter on Facebook of what the general consensus of people are saying in the comments. It's just a lot. So I have been feeling like I want to get off social media a little bit more. In fact, someone that I have followed since the beginning of my personal development journey deepened is Mark Groves, and he's quitting Instagram. He's getting off altogether in an effort to create more long-form content. And so I don't know what that looks like for me yet. I don't see myself necessarily leaving Instagram. However, what I do want to do is be very mindful of how this impacts your nervous system. I don't want to perpetuate the problem and the anxiety that people already feel. Post-pandemic has created still this lingering hangover. And I've talked about this since the beginning of the year because I don't think it's getting enough attention. We've gone back to this new normal, but it's normal-ish. Anything that wasn't online before is now online. And so you're more accessible, you're less unplugged, and yet we're operating under the idea of connection through connective social media, but we're less connected than ever before, even to ourselves. And so I want to be that much more mindful of my time. I want you to be mindful of your time. And so I want to invite you to join our email list if you haven't already. Here's why. Obviously, we don't own social media. We're operating on borrowed land. So Instagram, for the past 2 years has really pushed reels that are 3 to 6 seconds long, and you're pointing and dancing or lip syncing. And granted, some of those are fun. Sometimes it's fun to do the lip syncing thing. I'll admit that. But it's like once in a blue moon, I'll get the urge and I'm like silly online. But we're not really creating any, real depth. We're not actually changing things. And also, you're getting like a ton of pieces of things, but you're not really getting the whole picture. And so if you subscribe to our email list, not only are you going to be the first to know about events that we have going on so you don't miss anything, you're also going to get real in-depth things that I write in the newsletter that are just simply too long to even put on social media. You can kind of think of it like Substack. Right now I'm at a cadence of like every other week on the newsletter. I'd like to get up to every week and maybe even more frequently as I continue to write more. I'm so frustrated with social media. I looked at one of my posts the other day too, because I feel like what I do matters. I wouldn't do it otherwise. And one of our posts had like 40 people that it reached. 40 people. I mean, on Instagram alone, I have nearly 15,000 followers. And on Facebook, we have over 12,000. So like that math ain't mathin'. And it's super frustrating to be creating content that you're hoping reaches the right eyes and ears to inspire people, but offers a belief shift, and it's not. So I don't know where we're going to go from here, but I am just frustrated. And I also see people like posting stream of consciousness stuff. So like there's this one person who I actually really like watching her stuff on Facebook or, looking at it, but she posts like 6+ times a day. And it's like her thought right now, her thought in an hour. And I like her insights. I like what she has to share, but I'm noticing myself like this constant consuming of all of these other voices that are not mine. It's just, we got to put up some barriers. So if you're like me and you're craving a little bit more time off social media, a little less time on Zoom calls, that's why the newsletter, you can just sit down with a cup of coffee with me in your inbox. Hopefully that's a little bit cleaner than your social media stuff. And you can sit in your own time and consume it. And you're not going to miss it because there's no algorithm. It gets to your inbox no matter what. So that's one thing. And the other is we're really in creation of in-person events, especially, again, outside of the Zoom boxes, outside of social media. We're currently, as I record this, in the midst of a masterclass. It's off social media. It doesn't stream on Facebook. It's not in our Facebook group. It's on Zoom. So yeah, it's online, but it's off social media, which is nice. And then we have in-person things like the Champagne Club dinner event for female founders and executives. A bougie dinner, a crisp glass of champagne, or a fun mocktail with great conscious conversation. Like really to truly be surrounded by women that want to talk about innovation and wealth and creativity and ideas and not people and bullshit and gossip or weather. Who cares about any of that? So these are the rooms that I'm curating. And then we have a retreat coming up where if you struggle with being unplugged, you're going to be unplugged in the best of ways at this retreat. And it's a completely luxurious experience. It's like where vacation meets personal development. So it's not a vacation and it's not a personal development like boring, seminar where you're sitting with a cheesy lanyard or a tacky sticker that says, "Hi, I'm so-and-so" on your chest. Like that's not my vibe. You're going to come to an executive estate in Granada, and we only have a handful of spots left. So I don't know if you're like me. I don't know if this resonates with you. I'm just fucking tired of social media. And it's just a lot. It's a lot on people's nervous systems. And so again, in an effort to not be part of that problem where there's just constant noise online, I'm going to be mindful of how often I post. I'm also going to direct you to more long form content, such as this podcast, such as our email newsletter, such as in-person, real connection, real vulnerable, authentic, people, humans, hugs, laughing, tears, all the things that make it so beautiful to be in person with people. So I don't know. This is just my ramblings, my raw and real ramblings about social media. Let me know if this resonates with you. I'm curious. I hope you enjoyed your flight, and I'll see you on board again soon. Seriously, though, thanks for listening. If you're ready to take this work deeper and upgrade your mind, I want to invite you to join us inside my Millionaire Mindset program. This is where you'll start using my guided meditations to help you overcome anxiety and experience even more abundance. When you join, you'll have access to my entire audio library. Head over to elevatewithkeri.com and we'll see you inside.